Kaushalya, the queen, was happy. Kaushalya, the mother, was not. She understood that Ram should leave the Ayodhya palace. Emperor Dashrath had blamed him for the horrific defeat he had suffered at the hands of Raavan on the day that Ram was born. Till that fateful day, he had never lost a battle. In fact, he had been the only unbeaten ruler in all of India. Dashrath was convinced that Ram was born with bad karma and his birth was the undoing of the noble lineage of Raghu. There was little the powerless Kaushalya could do to change this. Kaikeyi had always been the favorite wife, and saving the emperor's life in the battle of Karachapa had only made her hold over Dashrath absolute. Kaikeyi and her coterie had speedily let it be known that Dashrath believed Ram's birth was inauspicious. Soon, the city of Ayodhya shared its emperor's belief. It was widely held that all the good deeds of Ram's life would not succeed in washing away the taint of 7032, the year that, according to the calendar of Lord Manu, Dashrath was defeated and Ram was born. It would be best if Ram left the palace with Rajguru Vasishtha, Kaushalya knew. He would be away from the Ayodhya nobility, which had never accepted him anyway. Furthermore, he would stand to gain from the education he'd receive at Vasishtha's Gurukul. Gurukul meant the Guru's family, but in practice it was the residential school of Gurus. He would learn philosophy, science, mathematics, ethics, warfare, and the arts. He would return, years later, a man in charge of his destiny. The queen understood this, but the doting mother was unable to let go. She held on to her child and wept. Ram stood stoic as he held his mother, who hugged and smothered him with kisses. Even at this tender age, he was an unusually calm boy. Bharat, unlike Ram, was crying hysterically, refusing to let his mother go. Kaikeyi glared at her son with exasperation. "You are my son. Don't be such a sissy. Behave like the king you will be one day. Go and make your mother proud." Vasishtha watched the proceedings and smiled. Passionate children have strong emotions that insist on finding expression. They laugh loudly. They cry even more loudly. He observed the brothers as he wondered whether his goal would be met through stoic duty or passionate feeling. The twins, Lakshman and Shatrughan, the youngest of the four sons of Dashrath, stood at the back with their mother Sumitra. The poor 3-year-old seemed lost, not quite understanding what was going on. Vasishtha knew it was too soon for them, but he couldn't leave them behind. Ram and Bharat's training would take a long time, maybe even a decade, if not more. He could not risk the twins being in the palace during this period, for the political intrigue among the nobility would lead to the younger princes being co-opted into camps. The malicious nobility was already bleeding Ayodhya dry with its scheming and plotting to enrich itself. The emperor was weak and distracted. The princes would return home for 2 9-day holidays twice a year, during the summer and winter solstices. The ancient Navratra festival, which commemorated the 6-monthly change in the direction of the sun god's north-south journey across the horizon, was celebrated with great vigor. Vasishtha believed those 18 days would suffice to console the bereft mothers and sons. The autumn and spring Navratras, aligned with the 2 equinoxes, would be commemorated at the Gurukul. The Rajguru turned his attention to Dashrath. The last 6 years had taken their toll on the emperor. Parchment-like skin stretched thinly over a face that was worn out by grief. His eyes sunken, his hair grey. The grievous battle wound on his leg had long since turned into a permanent deformity, depriving him of the hunting and exercising that he so loved. Seeking refuge in drink, His bent body gave little indication of the strong and handsome warrior he'd once been. Raavan had not just defeated him on that terrible day, he continued to defeat him every single day. Your Highness, said Vashishta loudly, with your permission. A distracted Dashrath waved his hand, confirming his order.